Alright, Digital Warriors, welcome back. I've got a new game for you. This is called Heroes of Normandie, and this is a really casual, entry-level type strategy game. It's got crazy artwork. The game mechanics are a lot of fun. It's really easy to get into, but once you start digging into it, you'll find that there is a lot of strategy and a lot of depth to its gameplay. I'm just going to kind of do a quick little review of why I like this game so much. Compared to some of the more advanced strategy games I play, like Flashpoint Campaigns, Red Storm, or Combat Mission. I still like and enjoy those games, but every now and again, you just want something that's really easy, really casual, kind of beer and pretzels type gameplay, and this game fits the bill. As you can guess, this is World War II, and takes place in the Normandy invasion. This is made by Devil Pig Games. And basically, Devil Pig Games created a tabletop board game of the same name that was very successful. I think it was Kickstarted and super successful because the gameplay mechanics work so well, and it is a lot of fun, and there is a lot of enjoyment to playing it. So they went out, and obviously the next step was to make a computer rendition of their tabletop game, and they've done so pretty successfully, and it's published by Slytherin. I think it's developed by Cat Rabbit down here. And I'll leave a link to where you can buy these games down in the description down below the video. But what this is a kind of a you go, I go kind of a game here. And what we'll do is, I'll take a look at the game wiki here. The base game comes with 3 different factions that you can play. You could play as the US, you could play as the Brits, or you could play as the Germans, obviously. And so what you have is you have all these different counters for all these different people, and there's on their description on their website, Devil Pig Games, specifically state, and you could tell in the artwork and some of the names that they use to name some of the heroes, is that their inspiration for a tabletop strategy game and therefore translated to the computer version was to take all the great classical World War II movies, things like The Longest Day, Kelly's Heroes, A Dirty Dozen, Saving Private Ryan, all these great movies, and kind of make a game about these heroes. And you'll see, like if we look at some of the U.S. guys, you'll see people like this guy, Jay Marvin. And you can't really tell. I mean, you could tell a little bit from the top side view of the counter, but when you see his profile, you'll be like, oh, man, that's Lee Marvin from The Dirty Dozen. And it's, Clint Eastwood here. A lot of cool dudes and cool abilities. Each one has, special abilities. And I'll get into some of the stats here that you see on the actual counter. I'll get into what all this stuff means, because I'm gonna do a quick gameplay. But the Germans have their own guys, and then obviously you've got basic units, squads, things like that. You've got the Americans and you've got the Brits. And I think they just released not too long ago a Ranger DLC for like $2 or whatever that gives you more counters. The actual tabletop game has many different expansions with a lot of different stuff. So let's see here. Okay, so single player. Now there is 3 different campaigns. You can play as the Germans, the Brits, or the Americans. You've got a whole tutorial thing. You can create your own missions. So what's great about this is if you go over to Devil Pig's website, you can see a lot of the user-created content that people have made for the tabletop game, and you can easily recreate those here in the mission editor. Excuse me. And then you can play your custom missions. And then they've got these 2 roguelike campaigns, which I'll probably get into those in a different video, but the gist of it is you get a set amount of points, or gold in this case, and you buy your forces, and then those forces carry over from battle to battle. And you don't know, there's no real storyline. You just kind of keep going to see how long you can last. And when you complete missions, you get more gold, you buy new guys, and damage carries over and things like that. But the nice thing is if you fail a mission, that's it. Your campaign is over. So you can get 10, 15 missions deep, and then lose one mission, and then have to start all over again from the beginning. So it's just kind of a neat little game mode. I haven't played too much of it. I'm still going through the 3 campaigns. And what we're going to do today is we're going to take a peek at a quick mission here. We'll do a U.S. campaign, and each one of these campaigns actually has 2 different campaigns. So you get a total of 6 campaigns, really. The first U.S. campaign is just really a tutorial campaign, so I'm not going to do that. So we'll start off the second U.S. campaign here. But you know, it gives you a little brief, and you could tell, depending on how familiar you are with old World War II movies, this is obviously this character here. This is Oddball. He's obviously modeled after Donald Sutherland. Let's see. All right, play. We'll go ahead and play this scenario here. We'll do the first scenario. So Oddball's predicament. This is Oddball here. He's a tank commander, and you hit play scenario. And then you can read through, you know, all of the stuff. See, there's Marvin, J. Marvin, they call him here, but obviously it's Lee Marvin. I'm going to go ahead and skip it. Well, I really like this game's art style. It's a really fun-looking game. And again, this is a one-to-one recreation of the board game. And this is actually the open beta version, because what they've added is they finally added in the action cards to the gameplay, and I'll talk more about that in a minute here. But when you start a mission, it tells you your primary objective. So my mission is to move the target to this shaded area here. So I've got to move Oddball's tank, which is this M4, to over there, and I win the mission. And then sometimes you have secondary objectives, and you'll unlock, you know, certain rewards like extra dice rolls and things like that. So as I stated before, and these are the action cards, and we're not going to look at those right now. I'll go over those in just a second. But as I stated before, it's a I go, you go kind of game. So when you start a turn, and I think this mission has 7 turns. So when you start a turn, you've got to give orders to your units, and you get a set amount of orders depending on how many units you have on the board. And if we zoom out here, we can see it's a pretty small map. I've got, looks like a Greyhound scout vehicle here. I've got a 30 cal team, a support fire team. I've got Lieutenant Stewart, who's my hero for this mission, and then I've got Oddball and his M4. It looks like the Germans have an MG42, a fire team, a half-track, a Panzerschreck, 2 Panzerschrecks, and a light Puma tank up here. So those Panzerschrecks are going to be, I'm going to have to take those guys out in order for, I think, my tank to live. But basically, when you start a mission, or you start a turn, you get a set amount of orders, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a bluff order. You've got to assign each one of your units, well, each one of these orders to a unit. And your enemy is going to do the same, whether you're playing against the AI or playing against a human opponent. And this basically dictates on who's going to, you know, which one of your units is going to act first. So we'll get the Greyhound out there and support team, and then the bluff order. And the bluff order, what's nice about this, and you don't really have to worry about it too much when you're playing against the AI, but when you're playing against a human opponent, your human opponent, because your orders aren't revealed to your opponent until it's that unit's time to go. So your opponent doesn't know which one you put a bluff order. So, you know, I could have put a bluff order on the tank. He doesn't know if I put a bluff order on the tank. Is the tank going to move this turn? Is it not going to move this turn? Who knows? So it's kind of a nice gameplay mechanic there. And then you hit proceed, and the computer's placing his orders. Now the computer only had 2 orders there for this turn. And before I move, because I had initiative this turn, so depending on the mission, it tells you who's initiative, who goes first, and then it flip-flops. So I'm going first this turn, which means on the next turn, on turn 2, the Germans will go first, the AI, and then back to me, and back and forth. The thing is you can get cards that alter, you know, dice rolls. They give your units the ability to move further. They give the ability to move and shoot without penalty. And that's what the cards do. And every time you use a card, you can hold 4 cards. At the end of every turn, you get 2 cards back, or you can discard just to keep your total up to 4. And we'll be playing some of those as well. So it's my turn to go. I have initiative this turn. The first order I gave was to Oddball the tank. All the green starred shaded areas is where I can move. So you just drag and drop. And you can see there's blue hexes that are highlighted. Basically, that dictates the facing of the vehicle, or the ass end of the vehicle. So if I put my tank here, I can choose any one of these faces. Choose vehicle direction. Click the blue squares to change the facing, and then the vehicle to confirm. So if I wanted him to face north, I would click this square and click it again. I could turn them all around here. I can't click on these ones because he's exceeded his move allowance if I wanted to do that. But we'll go and cancel that. Actually, you know what? I am going to move him down here because I don't feel safe with that those Panzerschreck teams. So you click him again, and then your tank moves, and then it's your turn to shoot. Now he does have the ability to shoot and move. Most units only can shoot or move. And while I've got him up, we'll go ahead and look at the tank token here, and we'll go over some of this stuff. So all units have the majority of these symbols here. So the blue arrow with a 4 in it, that's your movement allowance. That's how many hexes that you can move, or not how many hexes, God, I've been playing other strategy games too much. How many squares you can move. The orange box here is cannon attack versus infantry. So basically I get a +3 on 1d6 roll, on a die 6 roll versus infantry. And we'll get into how the dice roll modifiers work. The red is against light vehicles. The gray is against tanks or armored units. He also has a machine gun, which is listed on the right side here. So it's the same setup. So orange is against infantry. Red is against light vehicles. And the X here with gray means that the machine gun is ineffective against tanks. And then you've got the upside down gray box here. Looks like a shield. So yes, it's for armor. And that's its defensive value. Oh, and for vehicles, you've got defensive values all around the vehicle. So the rear of the tank is a 7, the sides are 7, and the front of the tank is an 8. So that makes sense. Now the game does a nice job, or the video game does a nice job of telling you potential targets, and that's what these red circles are. So I can shoot my cannon here. So the cannon has destruction. I can fire into buildings and wrecks. I can fire on the move with a -1 penalty. I've got a machine gun. It can do suppressive fire, fire on the move with -2, or I can suppress with the machine gun, which is what this icon is down here. If I want to suppress an enemy unit, basically it puts a suppression marker on them and it makes them less combat effective. But we're going to go ahead and fire the cannon at this half track. And it tells you down here, because the half tracks, it tells you down here on the d6 roll that I only need a 2 or higher. So 2 or more, and I hit them. So if I get 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, I'm going to kill this tank, or this half track. And the half track's defensive value is a 6, and I automatically get a +4 because my firepower is, if we look on our tank here, versus vehicles, okay, is automatically a 5, right? So we place that on there. So I get a +5, I get a -1 because he's at range, or because he's on a move. So that's why I automatically start off with a +4. So a 4 or a 6, so the defensive value minus my firepower is 2, and that's why I only need a 2 or higher to hit and kill him. So you just roll the dice, I get a 4, half track goes boom. Now some vehicles like tanks do take multiple hits. I think the M4 can take 4 hits, and so forth and so on. Now we've got a choice to shoot our machine gun. We can shoot at the MG42. It starts off on a 3. I get a -2 because I moved, and he gets a +2 to his defense. His normal defense is 5. He gets a +2 because he's in a hedgerow. So he gets a cover bonus there, which brings him up to 7. So really, I only have a +1 because I have a +3 -2 equals +1. That's why I would need a 6. Although I do have this, which is perks. Well, not perks, but kind of consumables. So I can increase my chances by using these. So if I use all 3 of them, I would only need a 3 or higher. But once I use all 3 of these, that's it. I don't have them for the rest of the game. But I know that an MG42 could chew up my troops pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. And I roll a 6, so I didn't have to use it, but it was good that I did. And that MG42 is eliminated because I got a total of 10. 6 + 3 - 2 + 3 equals 10. 10 is higher than their defensive value of 7. I win the fight. So now that that turn is over, because he can't do anything else, I hit proceed, and it's the enemy's turn. But if you recall in the first game in the setup, he had given an order to that machine gun unit, which obviously that was his first order, but I eliminated him before he could go, so it automatically comes back to me because it's not his half-track's turn yet. Actually, I eliminated both of his units that had orders on them. So I'm going to get to move all of my stuff before my opponent, essentially. So we're going to move our scout car up there. And as you can see, the gameplay is very basic. this is obviously a pretty small scenario, pretty easy scenario with a pretty small map. It does get much more difficult, and there is a lot more depth to the game. But I'm going to move my scout car, and I'm going to shoot at him with my machine gun. I need a 3 or higher. Now let's talk about damage on units right quick. So if you look here at some of these infantry units, like my 30 cal team here, they have a red skull versus my support team here has a green skull. What that means is this 30 cal team, if they've got a red skull, they can only take 1 hit before they die. So if they get shot and the enemy scores a hit, they're dead. Whereas if you've got a unit with a green skull, they could take multiple hits. So they can take 2 hits. So the first hit that they would take would turn them into a red skull. And if you look on their weaker side, their wounded side, you can see, so this would be the green side here. So all their stats are okay, except if they get hit, they go to the wounded side, which would be the red skull. Their defensive value increases, but they lose some of their firepower versus, other things. So essentially, green units are 2-hit units, red units are 1-hit units. So we're going to shoot at his fire team here. It's a green skull unit, so it's a 2-hit unit, which means if I successfully hit him, which I should, it'll turn him over to a red, to 1 more hit. So 1 more hit point, basically, for easy terms. And because the Greyhound can move, shoot, and move, it gives me the option to move in a couple other hexes, or squares, but we're not going to do that. We're going to leave them there. We are, however, going to move our support team up. Let's see what these cards are. Fire on the move, weak point, ignores restrictions of rough terrain, play 1 additional order for this turn. That's okay. We don't need to do that. Now, it is the supply phase. So this is the turn sequence. So the order phase, that's when we start all the orders, give them all out. The activation phase is what we've been doing, where I go, you go, I go, you go. And then now we're in the, I guess it still says we're in the supply phase. So all the units that I didn't give orders to and that the enemy didn't give orders to have this, for the US, it's this green circle here. And because I didn't give these guys orders for this turn, means that I can move them in the supply phase. Now, keep in mind that's just moving them. I can't shoot with them, I can just maneuver with them. And then I can use some of their abilities. Now I'm going to turn this tripod on to give him better accuracy. And then you hit proceed, and the enemy will do the same. So all these units that didn't get orders, they're going to move them. So they're going to move their Panzerschreck teams, they're going to move that Greyhound. Now that Panzerschreck decided to go into ambush mode, which I know he's there, but I can't target him unless I uncover him. And the only way I can do that is to get an infantry unit within 2 hexes to spot him. And I know I'm throwing a lot of rules and a lot of lingo at you, but really, if you play through the tutorial, you'll pick up the game. So I don't want to use that card. Fire on the move. Heavy vehicle. We'll discard this because there's no heavy vehicle. And you hit proceed, and then it draws you a new card. So you're getting a new veteran token. All right. So I know that my enemy is going to be going first. So the Germans, the AI has the initiative for the first turn, but I still want to give my first order to that tank. Second order to the Greyhound, and then I'm going to see if I can get an assault in, so I'll give it to Stuart there, and I'm going to bluff with my support team. So he's firing that Panzerschreck at my front armor. He hits, and then he's going to roll for damage. He damaged my cannon and my hull, which isn't good. Actually, it's just a hull. Alright, so if we look at my guy, he took some fire, so we got 2 suppression tokens put on him. Each one of those is a -2, -2, which is not good. And I took 2 damage, 3 out of 4 hull point damage. So we're going to have to do something about that. We're going to have to get rid of that Panzerschreck team. Big time. I can't hit him. I'm already a -4 because of the suppression tokens, which would put me at a -1, so there's no way that I can kill him with the cannon. I don't think there's going to be any way to kill him with the machine gun. Nope. But I can't even hit him. Alright, and I can't even move because he hit my tracks, I think. Or he immobilized me. What is he? Oops, not what we want. Alright, so basically it's a wasted. It's a wasted turn for me because I can't do anything. But we can move our Greyhound up here. And we're going to fire at this guy. Ugh. I don't like those odds. Kind of wish I'd kept those little bonus tokens I had. And he played a card. First, he gets a +2 defense. He only gets a suppression marker. I should have used that. Damn it. Oh well. But I am going to assault this guy. He's got a 22% chance versus a 14. Assault is basically close combat. So do I've got a better chance of shooting this guy, or do I have a better chance of engaging him in close combat? That's going to be the question. So I need a 5 or 6 on that. I think I may be better off shooting at him. We'll go ahead and shoot. And we missed. We only scored a 3, so 5 to 7. I could, however, incorrect phase. Yeah. Alright. We'll play it out. The Puma's going to move. I have a feeling he's going to shoot at my shit. Nope. Panzerschreck team's going to move. And they were spotted by the Greyhound, which is good. And my support team is going to stay put. I'm going to leave both of these guys here. Say okay. And it's now turn 3. Initiative comes back to me. We're going to discard that card, and grab some new ones. Hopefully we can get some stuff to remove. Oh, good. When your opponent plays the next card, it will be canceled. He can't use it until next turn. Okay. Again, I want to try to eliminate some of this stuff prior to getting killed. I'll give him a bluff order. Alright. I think we actually see he's playing both of his Panzerschreck teams. I'm going to play this on him. So the first time he gets hit, he's only going to get a suppression marker, which will be nice. We're going to play that card. And I'm going to play that card as well, which gives him the fire on the move ability with no penalty, which could come in handy. I'm going to move him here. And I'm going to fire at the Puma. Come on, 5 or 6. We got a 4. That's not what we wanted. And I'm thinking I might just suppress this Panzerschreck team. That might be the better thing. That's going to give him a -2 penalty to shoot. So he should have a harder time hitting me. Although this Puma here still could do some damage. Alright. He's going to shoot at my Greyhound. He's going to kill my Greyhound. Yep. That's bad because that was our unit with number 2 on it. Our second order, anyway. Well, let's see if we can kill this Panzerschreck team with our 30 cal. Nope. Proceed. And he's going to stay put. Actually, you know, I'm going to move him back here. I'm going to try to sneak Lieutenant Stewart here in behind these guys and see if I can kill his dudes. So we're going in turn 4. And he's going to have the initiative. And he's going into ambush mode. Great. Alright, so we'll be drawing a card. I'm going to discard. I'm going to go ahead and proceed. We'll just draw a new card. Oh, that could come in handy if Stewart gets in there. Alright. Place it there. Place it there. Get him up there and a bluff order there. And we're going to play some cards. Actually, no, let's play this card and let's give him another order. Click card to play on it. So I can actually give him that order there. So I'm not playing a bluff order at all this turn. Because I use that card, it gave me a 4th order. So we don't need to play the bluff card. Although that Puma's going to jack my dude up. He missed. Very cool. You know what? I can fire on the move. So we're going to move here. We're going to shoot that Puma point blank range. 50-50 chance. We hit him and we kill him. And then we're going to spray machine gun fire into this German. And that was our secondary objective. We completed that. So that's good. We're going to spray some machine gun fire into this unit here. And that's a miss. And proceed. How can he not see that guy? Alright, I'll move my 30 cal team up. Alright, now comes the fun part. I'm going to do an assault here. I'm going to give my assaulter, which is Lieutenant Stewart, and we look at his card. He gets a bonus here. That's what the little sword means. We're going to play the card on Stewart. Confirm. And then we're going to go stab one of these Panzerschreck teams in the neck. 86% chance to win this outcome. You just move him over there. He spotted that other one. I should win this this close combat here. 5, 6, yeah. 10-5. Massacred him. He tried to play a card, but I had that no card in play, so it canceled out his card, and we won that combat. And you hit proceed. Then my support team can fire here. Go ahead and shoot. Miss. And proceed. And where's he going to move that Panzerschreck team? The nice thing is going into turn 5, I'll have the initiative. And I'll be able to kill that Panzerschreck team with another assault. Alright. And I'm going to do that right off the bat. So I'm going to give Lieutenant Stewart the first order. I think I might give my tank. No, let's give it to 30 cal there. Tank and bluff. Alright, so we want to assault. It's 58 now because I don't have that +2 card, but that's alright. Still a high % chance to win. That's not good. Those are low rolls. 6-5. Now, if the rolls are even, it becomes a draw, an inconclusive battle, and the attacker just stops in one of the squares adjacent to where the battle took place. But I killed him, so we don't have to worry about that. He's going to fire at my 30 cal team. He may kill them. Nope. Alright, so 30 cal team's turn to return fire. 50% chance. Wipe him off the board. And because there's no more enemies left, that's it. Now, I could have moved a unit up here to take this box A, and what that is those are just little bonuses, kind of like those the dice roll modifier ammo boxes that I had. So you hit proceed. Mission ends because there's no more enemies, so I'd automatically win the mission. And then it goes to a kind of an AAR screen where it gives you a detailed breakdown of how you did. So we completed the primary objective, the secondary objective, killed 4 infantry units, 2 vehicle units, and that was our total point, or our total points. We did have 1 loss, but yeah. That in a nutshell is Heroes over Normandy. Now obviously the missions do become a little bit grander, a lot bigger, a lot more units on the board, and a lot more difficult. But like I said, it's a casual, easy game to get into. And the deeper you dig into the game, the more strategy and depth you find to it. So I highly recommend this game. You know, if you want to, this is a totally beer and pretzels, you know, Friday night, Saturday night with, you know, you and your friends, and you want to play a strategy game but don't want to play something where it's going to give you, you know, analysis paralysis or, you know, make your brain hurt because you got to really, really concentrate on it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you guys want to see more of Heroes of Normandy, let me know. I'll put more videos up. It's a fun game. Like I said, I'll link the store pages where you can buy it, both on Steam and Matrix website. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you later. Bye.